So I'm really enjoying this few days of going easy, not having to use my imagination too much. We've had a lot more wind today, no rain, but it's been windy as all get out, so still not suitable for going out painting, which is fine. I'm just going to commit to going easy. But while I am going easy, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. That involves staining some panels. I know that I've whined and sniveled about having too many odd colors that I'm not fond of using for paint, but I would use for staining my canvases and my panels. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have a tube of Grumbacher Finest Artist's Oil Color Green Earth. I like the color of it. I'm not fond of using it for paint in my painting straight out of the tube. I find it to be very oily, a very somewhat translucent paint, pigment, or yeah, paint. So what I'm going to do is use up some of this on a few panels. If I remember correctly, it seems to me that when I've used it in the past just for staining, or maybe I'm just imagining it, I'm not sure, but it seems to me it takes a while to dry. And when I'm going to stain some panels or canvases, I want it to dry pretty quickly, because I want to be able to restack them. I don't have enough room to lay out, 5 or 10 or 15 items and wait for them to dry. I'm too impatient and don't have enough room. But because I'm unsure of that, what I'm going to do is, as I mentioned the other day, add a color that dries very quickly to it, and that is, in this case, burnt umber. Burnt umber or raw umber both work very well. So I'm going to mix a bit of burnt umber in there. That will serve two purposes. One is that it will ensure that the stain of the panels will dry more quickly. It'll also ensure that it'll also help the opacity, because both raw umber and burnt umber are reasonably opaque colors if you don't thin them off too much. So we'll see how it goes. Usually I will lay a whole bunch of panels out on a table and squirt paint directly onto the panel. I'm not doing that now. I'm just going to do it on my mixing palette, actually. My mixing palette. My palette. And we'll go from there. So what I've ended up with is, of course, a very dirty brown, because the small amount of burnt umber that I added to the green earth has overtaken the green earth pretty much immediately. And now it's just a brown. It's fine. Main thing is, get rid of the white. I'm using a 2-inch foam brush. You can buy a bag of these, at a dollar store or any number of hardware stores. They're pretty inexpensive. They're not worth washing out. When you're done, just dispose of them. So 8 by 10. Let's just see. You and I will figure out together. See, yeah, that's another thing that I hadn't thought about. The primer that I put on here, the white primer, it's not as absorbent as actual gesso, which is fine. I just have to sort of bear it in mind. I don't need an opaque stain on the panel at all. I do like actual gesso because it gives me that feeling of better coverage, and I thought this would have better coverage color-wise as well. Fact is, the carrying agent you know, the liquid that the pigment, the white pigment, is suspended in, seems to cover very thoroughly on these panels. Seems to provide a really good barrier. So that's why I didn't even do a second coat. I didn't think that it was necessary at all. Anyway, this is a bit new for me. Okay, so that'll do. It's not real runny. I will bring this. No, actually, I'll just set this right here. I have a table set up in the garage that I'll lay a bunch of these on. But you sure don't, you know, for them to dry. It's the good thing about the wind is that we're also having a fair bit, a reasonable amount of sun, and things dry very quickly. Well, they dry. Oil paint is really, you look at it more as curing than drying, but it happens very quickly on a sunny, breezy day. Kind of nice. Get rid of the vapors, get rid of the smell. So it's a good afternoon to do this on. But I definitely want this to sit outside for a few hours because I prefer not to smell the house up too much. Okay. A little more pigment in that one. I like that one a little bit better. But again, they're just little panels. I'm going to put this outside right now. Okay, well, it's a good way to use up some paint that I wouldn't normally use. And I only have, well, I stained one of the 10 panels that I bought, so I only have another 9 to go. Make that 7 to go. I'm going to order a bunch more of these though, because I find them to be certainly suitable and very convenient. And I really prefer to spend time, if I'm going to be engaged in painting, I'd prefer to be engaged in painting, not prepping. Okay. It's going to get boring for you guys real fast because it's just going to repeat the same thing over and over again. Talk to you soon. It's Friday. Have a good weekend.